I mean, think about it. Our entire lives are on these little glass rectangles we carry around in our pockets. We're talking banking, private messages, our most personal photos, everything. But have you ever really stopped to wonder, how is all of that incredibly sensitive data actually kept safe? All right, so let's dive right in. But we're not going to start with lines of code or complex encryption. Nope. We're starting right here with a beautiful summer day, a few people, and yeah, you read that right, some squirrels. This might just be the most unusual and frankly, the most human origin story for a major cybersecurity guide you will ever hear. So I know what you're thinking. What on earth do squirrels have to do with keeping your mobile app secure? Well, as it turns out, that quirky little meeting in the woods was actually the beginning of something really, really important. That meeting led to the creation of this, the OWASP Mobile Security Testing Guide, or as the pros call it, the MSTG. This thing is a massive community-driven project. We're talking dozens and dozens of authors and reviewers from all over the world, all working together to define what mobile security truly is. So what is it exactly? Well, think of the MSTG as the master cookbook for security professionals. It's this incredibly detailed guide that lays out the exact processes and techniques you need to run a thorough, consistent security test on pretty much any mobile app. It's the blueprint for finding the cracks before the bad guys do. Now, this guide doesn't just exist on its own, though. It's actually part of a bigger ecosystem. You see, there's another document called the MASVS, and that one lists all the security requirements. You could call that the what. For instance, a requirement might be, don't write sensitive data to the app's logs. The MSTG, then, is the how. It gives the tester the exact step-by-step instructions to check the code and the running app to make sure that rule is actually being followed. Okay, so we've got this comprehensive guide for testing, but what exactly are we defending? What are the key battlegrounds when it comes to mobile security? At a high level, it pretty much boils down to these 5 critical areas. First up, local data storage. This is all about protecting what's on your phone, your photos, messages, saved passwords, if it ever gets lost or stolen. Then there's network communication. This is making sure nobody can spy on your data when you're using that sketchy coffee shop Wi-Fi. Authentication and authorization is all about proving it's really you logging in and not someone else. Interaction with the mobile platform, that covers stuff like app permissions. Why does that simple little game need access to all your contacts? And finally, you've got code quality and tampering, which is about making the app itself tough enough to resist being picked apart or messed with by an attacker. So, how do the pros actually poke and prod at these areas to find the weak spots? Let's take a little peek inside their toolkit. Okay, so there are 2 basic ways to approach a test. On one hand, you've got white box testing. This is where the tester is given the keys to the kingdom. They get the full source code, the architecture diagrams, everything. They're looking for flaws from the inside out. On the flip side, you have black box testing. Here, the tester knows absolutely nothing. They are approaching the app just like a real-world attacker would. From the outside, completely blind, just trying to find a way in. And within those approaches, testers use 2 main methods. First is static analysis, or SAST. I love this analogy. It's like reading a recipe before you start cooking. You're just analyzing the source code, the ingredients, for potential problems without ever actually running the app. Then you have dynamic analysis, or DAST, and this is the taste test. You're actually interacting with the live running application, trying to get it to do something weird or give up its secrets. But here's the really crucial point. This isn't just about doing a one-time test right before an app is released. The whole idea here, the key to real security, is integrating this way of thinking into the entire process of creating an application. A professional penetration test, or pen test, isn't just random hacking. It's actually a highly structured process. It all starts with preparation, where they figure out what they're supposed to be testing. Then comes intelligence gathering to understand what the app does. After that is mapping, where the tester explores every single button and feature to identify potential weak spots. Then comes the exploitation phase. That's when they actively try to break things. And finally, and this is maybe the most important step, is reporting, where every single finding is carefully documented so the developers can fix it. And all of this leads to this modern philosophy of security. See, it isn't some gate you have to pass through at the very end. In what's called a Secure Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC, security is this continuous thread that's woven through every single stage, from the very first idea, through the design, the coding, the testing, and even after the app is released out into the world. So, we have this massive, comprehensive, 1,000-page guide. It is the Bible of mobile security, created by some of the smartest people in the business. But what if I told you the very first, most important piece of advice it gives you is to not follow it? I am not kidding. This is a direct quote from the guide's own foreword. The very first rule of the OWASP Mobile Security Testing Guide is don't just follow the OWASP Mobile Security Testing Guide. So, is this some kind of paradox? What's going on? Not at all. Actually, the message here is incredibly profound. A guide, even an amazing one like this, is still just a tool. A checklist can never replace true expertise. Real excellence in security comes from a deep, fundamental understanding of how all this stuff actually works, how the mobile operating systems, the networks, the code, how it all ticks. It's really a challenge to the reader. Don't just be a checklist follower. Go write your own apps, compile your own software, take apart malware, and just never ever stop learning. Ultimately, what this guide really teaches us is that security isn't something you find in a checklist. It's found in the minds of the people who build and test our software. It's a commitment to deep understanding. So that kind of leaves us with one final question for you. Now that you have a peek behind the curtain, now that you know what goes into truly securing an app, what will you expect from the technology you use every single day?